Hello there, and welcome to the Paula Fiscalshow. Today we are going to have one of our regular guests by the name of Chef Sharon Lee. Now, Chef Lee today has brought a superfood. It is the famous mushroom, and this is a portobello mushroom. And as you know, our show airs on Sundays at 3 o'clock p.m., and you may also see all of the shows on YouTube. And we also have a Facebook page, so like us on Facebook page. And today, Miss Chef Sharon Lee is going to talk to us a bit about the mushrooms and her accompaniments, which happen to be some of my favorites: aged macaroni and cheese with turkey bacon. And we have the famous peach cobbler. So welcome to the show, Chef Lee. Tell us what you have for us today.
Good afternoon. Today we're starting with a stuffed portabella mushroom, and we have a aged white cheddar and turkey bacon macaroni and cheese, and we have a peach cobbler.
So, for those of you that are not familiar with Chef Sharon Lee, she is a regular on our show. She has had Kale here, but what we really want to hear about is the Crabfest. Can you tell us a little bit about the Crabfest before we talk about the food?
Yes, the Crabfest is taking place in San Francisco at St. Mary's Cathedral on April the 2nd. It's an all-day event, a fundraiser for a up-and-coming culinary program in San Francisco,
which is the Verlaine Iris Culinary Academy, which is named after your mother.
Yes.
And for those of you that are watching, you get to RSVP for a seating, and there are 4 different seatings all day. So the first seating is at 12 o'clock. The second one is at
2.
And then
the third one is at 5. And the last seating is at 7 p.m.
Now let's talk a little bit about the entertainment that you have lined up.
We will have this Crabfest, a comedian, a DJ, and a renowned local jazz artist coming in from San Jose.
Would you care to mention their names?
Our comedian name is Chris. That's his stage name, Chris. And we're going to have Willie Loggins as the DJ. And our keyboard jazz artist is Ron Scott.
Wonderful. So you know that in order to come to this Crabfest, you must RSVP right away. So you can go to the website, and it's called
partyearth.com.
And partyearth.com is a regular website that's used for entertainment venue.
Yes, for venues.
Okay. And so the crab is all you can eat.
Yes, it is.
At each sitting. So be sure that you get your RSVP in for this production. So now, Chef, let's talk about what you brought for us today. Beginning with the mushrooms, of course.
Okay, so we have a portobello stuffed mushroom today that I created. It's one of my signature dishes. It's a vegetarian dish. And I make a marinade with fresh herbs to start with an olive oil base. And you can add optional fresh chopped garlic. I mix that and blend it. I put them in the oven with the marinade inside of the mushroom. I clean the mushroom, gut the mushroom first, and then I put the marinade in, and I bake it.
And how long do you bake it for?
I bake it for about at least 20 minutes because the mushrooms are really thick and fresh mushrooms, and they take a little time for them to start cooking. So I do about 20 minutes. and at the temperature of 375.
375. And go over the marinade again. What was in the marinade?
The marinade is consists of a Worcester sauce, soy sauce, olive oil base with rosemary, basil, thyme, and oregano. And so that's a marinade, and that I use. There's
So do
other,
you
other
actually
options.
marinate the mushrooms overnight or something?
You
Or
can marinate them overnight. You can marinate them overnight. Refrigerate them.
and they won't get too soft or
No,
too
it's really good for like when you want to season them. You know.
wonderful, wonderful.
Another thing you can do, well, yeah, you can marinate them, or you can just start the process from letting the mushroom, cleaning the mushroom itself, and then putting the marinade inside of the mushroom and baking them that way. And after 20 minutes of taking them out, you have your sliced tomatoes, um, you have your spinach, and you have, sometimes I take the bottoms of the caps off, and I chop them up and slice them up to put them inside to stuff the mushroom to make them fuller. Um, and then I layer it. I layer it, tomatoes, spinach, basil. And I'll put the tomato inside on the bottom first. Spinach, number one is tomato slice. Number two is spinach. Number three is basil. And number four is to put the mushroom caps that you chop up if you want to layer it with that. And then you take the other slice or two of tomatoes and put it on top to give it a little weight to hold it down. And you bake them for about.
Otherwise, it'll get up and run away.
Well, yeah, and then it kind of dries out the spinach, so you want to kind of keep it
So
where
you
it
want to keep it
steeps and it
moist.
keeps the tomato juices and everything part of the marinade process for flavor and taste, and that it doesn't overcook the spinach and dry it out, because it will dry it out.
Okay, and the mushrooms are here displayed in front of the wonderful bouquets of red lettuce. And so the next entree is the macaroni and cheese. You want
Well,
to tell
it's
us
just
about that
one
one?
more thing that we didn't finish.
One
with
more thing about the mushrooms.
About the mushrooms. So that's a goat cheese with herbs inside of the cheese itself, or you can get a plain goat cheese. And at the very end of that, you can cut them in medallions, and you can put them on top of your mushroom as they are hot, and it will kind of melt the cheese a little bit, and it gives it just an outstanding flavor.
Well, my mouth is watering. Let's talk about the macaroni and cheese,
Okay, so the macaroni and cheese
which is right here on the camera.
is one of my favorite dishes. It's made with an aged white cheddar cheese. And you can make it with a roux base with flour, a little butter or margarine if you want to do.
Wait a second. You can make a roux base, but how about the rest of us?
Okay. Well, I should say the preparer can make it with a roux base, which is flour and a little butter that you mix together,
Okay.
that you do not brown. It stays white. Okay, but you cook it a little bit. And from that point on, you add a little cream and you mix it up to like a mild little consistency, not too thick, just like a gravy. But you want it to be a little thinner than a gravy. So what you do is, at that point in time, you add a little of your cheese gradually, and it turns into a cheese sauce. And so what you can do, either you have one option, you can either layer it with the cheese, or you can add the roux with the cheese sauce. Okay? I like them both. Okay? This one was made with layer cheddar cheese. And I diced up some Jennie-O turkey bacon. And it's throughout there, and it has a few little diced onions in there. And baked it for 45 minutes. And at the temperature of 375.
375.
Yes.
Okay, so if somebody wanted to get this recipe, is this a recipe that came from your family once again, or how is it? Will you be putting out a cookbook soon?
Yes, I eventually will put out a cookbook. My family has been pressing me to do so, especially my son, my youngest son. His name is Stephen, and he says, "Mom, we have to keep up with you, so we need a cookbook." So this is a recipe that I created myself. Like a lot of other things, I create myself, like the portobello stuffed mushroom for vegetarians.
Well, everything looks so good, and the noise that you hear is my stomach growling. So let's talk now about the peach cobbler.
The peach cobbler I made today, and it was to surprise Paula. Um, I just wanted to bring something that I make. Might of fact offer on my catering list of foods that I prepare, and so this is a crust that was made today, and it's got this is one of my favorites. I love to make peach cobbler. So
And we all love to eat cobblers.
yes,
There's
I
our
was
favorite
just so
foods. And I just wanted to go over a little bit about how you have the Spot for Fine Catering, which is your catering company, and you've had that company for quite a while here in San Francisco. But before that, you were a hairdresser.
Yes, I was. I was a barber stylist in San Francisco for over 25 years. And I worked in one salon shop, which was called Holmes Barbershop on Pierce off of Haight. I stayed there for 18 years.
So for those of you that are watching that are thinking that you can only have one career in your life, you don't need to have just one career. You can have quite a few careers.
Yes, you can. Yes, you really can. And I have, I started out cutting hair when I was a kid, and I started out cooking when I was a kid. I started out when I was 8 years old, and I started cutting hair when I was about 7 years old. I cut my hair off, and both of those two are have chosen for career, but I'm licensed by the state of California. Right now, I'm still a barber stylist, and I have a degree in culinary arts from the California Culinary Academy that was on Polk Street in San Francisco.
We all remember that famous Culinary Academy in San Francisco on Polk Street.
Yes.
And it was right by the Rathskeller, remember?
Yes.
That famous restaurant.
Oh, yes.
But that will be another show. Let's get back to our mushroom special. So is this something that you're going to be offering in your catering business?
Oh, yes. This is a vegetarian dish that I do offer in my catering business, amongst other vegetarian dishes that I have created.
And so let's talk some more about our Crab Fest.
Okay.
What else will you be serving with the crab?
The Crab Fest, we're going to have hot garlic butter crab that I'm creating a butter for now. And we're going to have sides, which are chicken Alfredo fettuccine. We're going to have a dirty rice. That is one of my signature dishes. And I'm going to prepare a garlic noodle.
Garlic noodles?
Mm-hmm, garlic noodles.
How do we prepare garlic noodles?
Well, the garlic noodles, I will be cooking in a wok. And
Asian style.
Asian style. And I'm going to also be using fresh garlic and Parmesan cheese and a specialty sauce that I want to put on them.
And we also have the comedian Chris Roberts, or the comedian's going to be there. Oh, a DJ. You're going to have a DJ.
Yeah, DJ by the name of Willie Loggins.
Right.
Right.
So he's going to be playing crab eating music.
Oh, for sure, for sure. There also will be, this is a buffet. And there's
You mean we serve ourselves? We'll be serving ourselves
no,
at the buffet?
You're going to have servers.
Oh, we will have servers. Okay.
Yes, you will have servers. And we will have 2 salads. the kale salad, and we're going to have a coleslaw.
You mean the favorite kale salad
The
you brought on the
favorite-
show?
the
Oh, that was
favorite-
such a
the-
good
the
salad.
favorite
Remember
kale
we had
salad.
an official taster? That was the first time Sonny had ever had kale.
Yes, I remember that. And we're also going to have sourdough bread from Boudin's. And we're going to have salads, three sides, two salads, and you're also going to have garlic bread, and you're going to have hot garlic crab.
Well, that sounds like the menu for me. In fact, I'm going to have a table at the Crab Fest. You can check out my Facebook page, and you can RSVP right on my page, or you can go to the Party Earth page.
Yes, yes.
To talk about Chef Sharon Lee's famous crab feast. And you've had this now going for a couple of years?
Yes, I started this when I was teaching at John O'Connell High School. And it was, started out as fundraiser for kids, but now I'm fundraising for the culinary program of my own. But I started it with the children and the deaf children at John O'Connell High School.
And so when you start the Iris Verlaine Culinary Academy, that's going to be in June of 2016?
Yes, I am currently working on that in location as we speak to get the program open for the summer for the children, to do field trips and to visit the new gardens that have came up throughout the city, and learn a little bit more about where our food comes from and why is it so important and nutritionally important for us to know and be knowledgeable of how food grows.
So the students are going to learn how to grow garlic. Some of my garlic grows on its own.
Yes, they need
if it
to
gets
know.
wet.
They need to know. The students need to know where their food comes from and why is it so important to eat healthy, and how to take care of themselves, and what is a balanced meal, and when you're supposed to eat, and how to eat. So it's very imperative that the children learn this, and this is one of the incentives that I have for opening up this program.
So you're going to be teaching the young people, and
Yes.
by young people, which age groups are we talking about?
My age group is 6.5 years old to 17.
And the 6.5 to 17. So you're not going to be teaching them all in one class.
No,
You're going to be
there's
separating.
elementary school children, middle school children, and then high school children. Everybody with their peer group.
So will this kind of be like the Chef Learning Center?
Yes, it will be. It'll be Chef Learning Center for the Future Chefs of America.
There we go. That sounds wonderful.
Yes.
We have a lot of students I know in San Francisco that are interested in cooking and learning more about the nutrition aspects of our food.
Yes.
So today we brought in this wonderful big red lettuce that we got from Courtney's. I'm going to drop their name because it's a cute little produce place, but you also probably buy sandwiches there. And the chef had asked me today to bring in some flowers. So here's your flowers, chef. But then I couldn't resist this big bouquet of lettuce. And it's accenting the portobello mushrooms and the aged cheddar cheese, turkey bacon entree, and the peach cobbler. So for those of you that are unfamiliar with our chef, she has been on our show on a regular basis, and she has a catering service. It's called The Spot for Fine Catering. And we have fun with the foods that she brings. So if you're interested in contacting the chef, she'll give you her phone number.
My number is 415-517-2851. I can be reached there at any time that you need my services.
And I just want to mention that recently you catered an event for the Bay Area Video Coalition, which is the facility here for the SF Commons. And we had a wonderful jambalaya
Yes.
with coleslaw, and it was excellent, excellent. I wanted to bring a container and take it home. It was so good. So for those of you that are interested in enjoying dining from the chef, keep in mind the Crab Fest is coming up. Just take a look at Party Earth and RSVP. Um, Paula will be having a table there. You can RSVP and join in at our table, and it's going to be a lot of fun. So please, Chef, tell our viewers and our audience exactly what your food tip is for today.
My food tip for today is on to making the portobello mushrooms. My tip will be to you is to get you fresh portobello mushroom, some fresh spinach, some fresh basil, sliced tomatoes, and for your marinade you need Worcestershire sauce, you need olive oil, you could put a little soy sauce, and you need the herbs of thyme, rosemary, oregano, and thyme, rosemary, basil.
And basil. As long as we're going through the ingredients, can you go through the ingredients once again for the macaroni and cheese?
The macaroni and cheese is 8 white cheddar cheese.
And this is what serves a family of 4 or 5?
Yes, it does. This particular dish, matter of fact, you might even can do 7.
7 people.
7 people.
So
depending on their serving.
So you're having you want to use then what, a half a cup of the cheese, a cup of cheese?
My layer is it can equivalent to a cup of cheese or a cup and a half.
A cup and a half of cheese, and what are some of the other ingredients in that?
Oh well, you have to make your custard, and that consists of cream, eggs, and stirred up like scrambled eggs, and your favorite seasonings that you like, and you mix that up, and you can pour it on top. You can.
And what about the ingredients for that sauce? How do you prepare that again?
Oh, the roux. The
Right.
roux is flour. So say you use a half a cup of flour to 3/4 stick of butter.
Okay, half a cup
Okay.
of flour,
To
3/4 stick of
cups.
butter.
And remember that you just want to cook it a little bit. You want to cook it. You
Does
don't
that
want to
mean 1
brown it.
minute or 2 minutes, or how long does that cook?
I would say no more than 5 to 8 minutes. Because you got to have time for the butter to heat and mix up the flour.
And you're stirring the whole time.
You're stirring it.
You have to be stirring it.
Okay.
You don't want it to get
If
toasted.
it's too stiff, add a little bit more butter, but not too much. And to the point that you get a little liquid. And then it kind of cooks up a little bit. Keep it white. Don't let it brown because you're not making gravy. You're just making a roux for your sauce. For
So
your
are
cheese sauce.
there whole courses or classes that you can take about making roux?
Yeah, you can always call Chef Lee. I'll be glad to teach you.
Because I know that butter really makes the flour brown really fast.
Oh yes, not at high heat though. You don't want it at high heat, and that's why you're stirring all the time to pay attention to what you're doing. You have to keep your eye
So
on
you can't
it.
start it and then walk away.
No, you have to watch it. You have to really watch it, because let me say this as well. Those same steps you can use for making clam chowder soup.
Clam chowder, the same roux.
The same roux.
So then, if you were going to make a clam chowder, would you use 1/2 cup or a cup or 2 cups?
No, because you might be making soup for 10 people. So you might do a little different. So you might want to use a cup or a cup and a half.
Well, I think it's beginning to sound like a different show. We're going to have a clam chowder show.
Okay. Well, we will have
That'll
a clam
be
chowder
great.
show. Okay.
So thank you so much for joining us today. And it's always fun to have Chef Sharon Lee on my show. Again, we are airing on Sundays at 3 o'clock p.m. on SF Commons, Channel 29. And you can view all of the shows on YouTube. And we also have a Facebook page. So thank you so much for joining us, and have fun cooking with the foods that Chef Lee brings to us on a daily basis. And one of these days we're going to say, and her new book is going to be published when, Chef Lee. Thanks again for joining us.